Hey, Teddy K here for the Best Buy blog, and in this video, we're taking a look at the OnePlus Watch 2R. This is OnePlus's latest smartwatch, more on the affordable side, yet still offering many of the same features of its predecessor. The OnePlus Watch 2R largely follows its predecessor, the OnePlus Watch, although this is the more affordable of the two. So the premium and then the affordable. In any case, one thing to note right off the bat here is that you do not need a OnePlus phone to make use of this watch. It'll work with any Android device, whether it's a Pixel or a Samsung Galaxy or something from another brand. You should actually have no problem using this. You don't really lose any features. Also, you don't lose much on the functionality even compared to the original OnePlus Watch 2, and the reason for that is largely because of the cosmetic differences. There are a couple of minor functional ones too that I'm going to point out, but first the cosmetic ones. This is an aluminum body compared to the stainless steel of the other one. This is also Gorilla Glass compared to the tougher sapphire glass in the other one. The buttons are a little different in this case because they're identical, so you have digital crown buttons that are the same, even though if you twist them, they still don't do anything. You have a 24-hour sort of clock here around the bezel. The other one doesn't have that at all. And this is a silicone strap that is not quite as ruggedized as the rubberized strap that is in this one. Key things still apply though. So IP68, dust and water resistance, still applies here. So if you want to take this for a swim, you can still do that, no problem. The sensors are largely the same, as is the charging. So all that stays the same. In fact, it's the same charger. So if you have the OnePlus Watch 2 and then you have the 2R, it's the same charger, no difference there. And the sensors are pretty much the same also. So from the heart rate monitor to the SpO2 sensor to measure blood oxygen, things like that, those are all pretty much intact. So from a software perspective, not much changes either. You want to change the watch face, it's still the same way to do that, and you have a bunch to choose from. You also, because this is a Wear OS watch, you can use your third-party apps too. So whether it's Spotify, WhatsApp, there's a whole bunch of them actually. And some are even going to be applicable to the fitness and health tracking options here as well. Functionally speaking, a couple things that I did note while testing this out. The GPS accuracy is actually a little better with this one, and it kind of needed to be because the previous Watch 2 was not the best at that. This one is going to be a little more precise in that regard. It will struggle at times if you are in dense urban areas. So like, for example, if you're in a really dense place like, Manhattan or even downtown Toronto, Chicago. I mean, I'm just throwing cities out, but basically if you have a lot of tall buildings, it will sort of struggle a bit in thinking that you are still outside, perhaps when you're inside. But the point is that it's better generally in terms of location data when you are working out outside. So if you want to go for a run or a bike ride and you want to track your route and location, it will do a better job of doing that. Otherwise, it's going to be mostly accurate in terms of the exercise tracking. It might overstate a little bit or understate in some cases because there is some automatic exercise detection here. Note though that if it only applies to running by default, so if you want to add more exercises, you got to go into the settings and then make that adjustment where you can add a few extra ones in there, which is great. But the automatic tracking only applies largely after maybe a couple minutes. It's kind of hit or miss as far as when it kicks in. And when it does kick in, it doesn't necessarily always factor in the steps or the amount that you've done up to that point. So a couple key caveats there when it comes to the automatic tracking that I think OnePlus can improve. Otherwise though, the watch really does a lot of things well. So notifications come in through perfectly. Phone calls are really nice on this watch as well. It's a pretty loud speaker and the microphone is very nice as well, which is very good also for using Google Assistant. So if you like using the Assistant from your watch, you can do that. There is storage on here, so you can store music. So if you're a Spotify subscriber, for example, and you wanted to store music offline so that you can pair this with a pair of headphones or earbuds, you can do that also, which is great if you want to go for a run or a workout and leave the phone behind. Battery life is where this thing really shines. OnePlus rates it at 4 days, up to 4 days. You're only going to get that if you leave the always on display off, if you are not using GPS at all, if the notifications are minimal. This is actually the longest battery life you'll get on a Wear OS watch from any brand at this point. I was able to recharge this when I needed to in just under an hour. So very convenient. And if I left it on the charger for about 10 minutes, I'd have enough to easily get through a workout or a bike ride. Just a quick summary, I would say that this is a nice watch if you're looking for a Wear OS watch that doesn't break the bank necessarily, gives you the main functions that you're looking for. It may not be the best of the bunch, but may be the best when it comes to battery life. So there's a lot of give and take and a lot of pros and cons when it comes to using this, but for the most part, it is pretty reliable and easy to use. And that's my review of the OnePlus Watch 2R, available at Best Buy now. You can actually check out more by clicking the link below. For the Best Buy blog, I'm Teddy K. Thanks for watching.